To do a quick video on my thoughts behind my trade today. It's my time, Central Standard Time, 9:12 a.m. and we are a couple hours into the new 6 hour. When we opened up on the 6 hour, I believe we were sitting around 95.50, which was right around here, so still kind of sitting at the top. So when I look at the past day or two, I still see an overall downtrend. You see, it's pretty consistent, right? We may have a break up. If we do have a break up, the next thing I'm looking at is, well, what's the furthest it's gone up over the last 24 hours? We had these two spikes here at 97.49. I mean, those were unusual spikes to me. But if you just kind of do an average and meet it in the middle, you're looking at about 96.50, 9600 reasonably. Current 6 hour max is about 96.18. So for me, if I'm lucky, I'll get a limit order in right here. I'll set it at, so I work with a 10% wallet. Right now I have 0.73 that I'm working with in my trade. So what I'll look at is, because I'm gonna short it, sorry about that. I'm going for a short today because I believe that the overall trend is a short. I think right now it just may be one of those pump and dumps. So I'm just going with my gut that it's going to follow this overall trend. So the next thing for me is to find that entry point. Because I have 0.73 Bitcoin available, when I go over here to my limit price, based on what I said earlier, I'm going to try to get in, I think I'll try to get in right around here, 96.50. And if it works its way up and it doesn't quite get there, say it gets to 96.25 and I start to see a move, I'll let it go ahead and go down and pop back up, and I may lower my price to 96.25. At which point, if the market is moving pretty fast, I'll go ahead and put in a market order. The reason I go with a limit order is because I save 2.5% per transaction. So if I can achieve a limit buy and a limit sell, then my total cost is only 10% of the total transaction. So as long as I get a 15% gain, I still made 5% on that transaction. So okay, I said that my wallet is 0.73. If you look down here, you can see what the cost is. Damn it, did it again. If I just take this amount of Bitcoin and divide it by 10, and I try to make sure that my value here, based on my contract value, is a tenth of whatever my wallet is. By having it at a tenth of the wallet, it gives you about 3 to 4 liquidation saves. You would think that it would give you 10, but it really doesn't. And this is how I can explain that. So let's say right here I'm at 100x. I want a $60,000 contract. It's going to cost me 0.07 Bitcoin. If I move it to 50% or 50 times, you'll see this goes up to 0.13, almost 0.14, so double the last one. And so you would think, okay, well, it only goes up that same increment each time, but it doesn't. So I think when I go to 25, let me just make sure. It should go, yeah, it goes up to 0.26. So your cost doubles every time you deleverage. So the most I've ever been in max pain is 25x. If I had to go to 4, my total costs, 4 down from 100, let's see what it comes up to. It should come up to 0.52. So that's using a pretty good bit of my outstanding wallet. If I've got to go down 4 times, there's got to be an extraordinary event that fucked me over, or I just got in wrong. But the way I try to get in right is on a short, I come in high. On a long, I come in low. Also, I got BitMax open up over here. I've enabled liquidation display. So if you look right here, still the 1 minute chart right here, still using the Heiken Ashi candle. What I'll do is I'll wait for that run up to about, that 96.50 that I was talking about, something like this. And then we'll look for bubbles to pop off, showing liquidations. So one of the things that they taught is if you just open up this ruler right here, let's say it goes up from right here, right? Right at about 50% gain, you're going to start to see some short liquidations on 100x. If you go down a little bit further, or you go up a little bit more to 1.5%, right? Oops, let me do this again. that's when your 50x gets liquidated. And that's pretty high. That's about like 9,700, 9,750 from this point. Um, and if it goes beyond that, then something really crazy, some real big market manipulation is happening. So what I'll do is I'll scroll back and I'll say, okay, well, shit, what's the highest it's been over the last, 24 to 48 hours? Scroll back a pretty good bit, and I'll look at this highest high right here was 97.50. So if it pumps up to its previous highs, then we could be at 3 possible liquidations, but who knows? It could be a lot more, because look, this one pumped up that far from, I'm just going to go from here. Look at that, 6% from the bottom. If we went up 6% from the bottom here, click on the ruler, click right here, that's damn near 10,000. 10 to 10 2. So, I mean, situations like that, it's hard to know. It's very hard to know when those events are going to pop off like that. There are signals out there that some people teach that help you understand when these events are going to happen. I'm not that experienced on it at this point, so I don't want to comment on it. But if I do a little bit more research and I find out characteristics of those events, I'll be happy to share that with you. So anyways, back to my story. Still trying to get into the trade, right? I just wanted to explain to you the max price that I look for within the last 24 hours. So here we are, 9 o'clock. Go back to 9 o'clock. This is the last, oh wait, this is, yeah, I believe this is the last 24 hours right here. And then within the last 24 hours, the highest we've ever seen it go is around 96.24. So 96.24 to 96.50 could be a good entry price for a short. Very good entry price for a short. If you want to attack it sooner, you can. Just make sure you get out, in and out quick. So let me see here. Is this the 1 hour or is this the 1 minute? Okay, yeah, that's 1 minute. So going back over to my trade, I was explaining to you about the leveraging. So I like to start off at 100x. When I make a purchase, this auto margin replenishment is on, because it says when it's enabled, it's basically going to set those auto leveraging events for you automatically. You can literally walk away and it's going to move your position back. You'll get an email from Bybit that says we've automatically replenished your order and now you're at a 50x, now you're at a 25x. But like I said, try to get in after those liquidations occur on the opposing army, so it minimizes your chances of getting liquidated. So anyways, I'm going to sit here and wait. I wanted to take the time to explain that to you, and some thought processes that I have as I go into the trade.